You know about Lindt. You've heard of Gruyères. You're familiar with the highest, longest, and steepest cable cars and mountain trains. But those are not going to be on this list.
Instead of repeating the same old top 10 places to visit, we're dishing up the most underrated places we've been in Switzerland that no one's talking about, but totally should be.
Like riding a mountain bus that had us gripping our seats, swaying in a self-driving cable car over a glacial lake, and exploring dark, chilly bunkers buried deep in the Swiss Alps.
Lots of you are planning Oeschinensee into your itinerary, which is a stunning mountain lake above Condertal. It's actually my third favorite lake in Switzerland, but stay tuned, I'm going to mention my second favorite lake later in this video. Anyway, on your way there, you actually pass a hidden valley, which is known for having the steepest Postbus route in Europe. We're talking about the Cailler. The ride begins near Lake Jingle, which was farmland until 1972 when a landslide literally created this lake overnight. Then you begin the 15-minute ascent with an average 28% gradient. The road twists and turns, it crosses over waterfalls, you squeeze through a tunnel, and then you are safely delivered to Gruyères at the top. From here, you can enjoy the restaurants or admire views through this UNESCO World Heritage region. For serious hikers, like Brett, head up and over the Seffen and Furga to Mürren. Or for an easier route, descend on the Postbus Discovery Trail back to the Chiemgauer with a detour to the secluded Pochten Falls. For real, it seems like every valley in Switzerland has stunning waterfalls. By the way, this is not a comprehensive list, it's just a roundup of the coolest places that we have personally been to recently. And let's just go ahead and point out the elephant in the room. Yes, you can find some people talking about these places, we just find they're not talked about nearly enough.
Everyone knows about Lindt and Cailler, but if you'll be near Lucerne, then you should definitely indulge yourself with a visit to the official partner of Swiss International Airlines, which means top-notch Swiss chocolate with a fraction of the crowds. This spot is Eschbach. In our opinion, the Eschbach Chocolate World Museum is really well done. The self-guided tour starts with the history of cocoa and a generous tasting tray. Next, you learn about creating chocolate, including a station where you can customize your own chocolate bar. Then you learn about chocolate molds, production, and flavor. Around every corner, there are more interactive stations and more free samples. We were constantly delighted every time we popped another sweet treat into our mouth, from cacao nibs to liquid chocolate to truffles. All of their chocolate creations are divine, but they're particularly known for their Bluette, Rappler, and Hushogi. If you still have room in your belly, you can enjoy pastries and desserts in their bistro or take home sweets from their well-stocked shop. In fact, an adult ticket includes a 5 franc voucher that can be used in either spot. How fun is that?
When you think about medieval villages in Switzerland, what comes to mind? Gruyères? Murten? Maybe even Stein am Rhein? Well, not enough people are talking about this delightfully charming village way up in the northwestern corner of the country. This is Saint-Ursanne. Crossing the 18th century bridge and city gate is like stepping back in time. You enter a world of cobblestone lanes, rainbow buildings with colorful shutters, squares dotted with splashing fountains and inviting benches, and even a monastic church dating back to the 10th century. By the way, hey, we're Janet and Brett, Aplins in the Alps, and we help you travel Switzerland with confidence. We have now been to every canton in Switzerland, and Saint-Ursanne is in Canton Jura. We truly expected to just wander the village for a few minutes, but we ended up staying for lunch and taking a second lap through town, both because we enjoyed it so much and our baby was taking a nap in the stroller. If you enjoy wandering cobblestone streets and admiring colorful buildings, then be sure to stay tuned because there's another town later on this list you might also enjoy. And while you're at it, we'd be so grateful if you hit that like button. It just lets us know that you enjoy this content and want to learn about more hidden gems in Switzerland.
If your trip takes you to Montreux and you want to head up into the mountains, then it makes a ton of sense to visit Rochers-de-Naye. But there's a lesser known spot not too far away that you will definitely want to know about. It is La Berneuse. You'll start in Aigle. First, don't miss the picture-perfect castle surrounded by vineyards. Then, hop on the narrow gauge railway to the mountain village of Les Ans. From here, board a gondola to La Berneuse. You're greeted by a giant Laissance sign, a unique revolving restaurant, a mini lake, views over Lake Geneva, and various chairlifts. Just a short walk down from here is the Buvette die Hamlet, with rustic restaurants where you can roast your own sausage over the fire. We came here with Jana's parents, and this was one of her dad's favorite experiences.
Raise your hand if you know where Grimselveld is. Okay, now raise your hand if you've heard of the Gelmerbahn. I have a feeling a lot more hands went up after that second one. The Gelmerbahn is the steepest open-air funicular in Europe, and it is ultra popular on social media. But if you go just a little bit further into the valley past the Gelmerbahn, you enter a world of hydropower, green reservoirs, and mountain railways unlike anything we have ever seen before. This is the heart of Grimselveld. Head up to the top of the Grimsel Pass, and you're surrounded by mountain peaks, a blue lake, and a little marmot sanctuary. As you can imagine, there are loads of hikes in this area. Below this is the Grimsel Dam. You won't miss the towering concrete wall since it used to be the highest dam wall in the world, and a new wall was just finished in 2025. You can book a dam tour.
No one wander off the dam tour.
Or enjoy the free mini museum instead. From here, we rode a self-driving cable car over the glacial lake to the Oberarsee, another glacial lake with another small dam. We got to be honest, it was a bit weird to ride this automated cable car with no staff in the stations. And we actually had to press the help button twice because the car just wouldn't leave the station, but it was all good and we didn't get stuck. We actually came here with our Swiss friends who are like family, and they told us that going to mountain passes is actually a really common pastime for Swiss families. So thank you to them for being our tour guides on this day.
There's enough in the Jungfrau region to keep you busy for days, weeks, months, or even years, as evidenced by the countless videos on our channel and the years we've spent exploring this area. And we think that one of the best views in the Jungfrau region is a mountain that looks over Lake Thun and has a view of all of the snowy peaks, including the Eiger, Munch, and Jungfrau. We're talking about the Niederhorn. After you ride a funicular and cable car to the top, you're immersed in views of the Swiss Alps. Below you are the blue waters of Lake Thun, and you can see the Niesen, Stockhorn, Jungfrau, and countless other mountain peaks. We won't name them all because it would take way too long. Don't forget to look behind you over the Emmental and flatter parts of Switzerland as well. From the Niederhorn, you can hike along the ridge with a chance to spy ibex, or ride downhill on the trotty bikes. And from there, it's your choice to bus or boat around Lake Thun.
A lot of you seem to combine your trip to Switzerland with a vacation in Italy. I mean, what could be better than the fresh air and the natural beauty of the Swiss Alps combined with the food and the wine and la dolce vita of Italia? I mean, they're a perfect match. But did you actually know that you can get a taste of ancient Rome in Switzerland? You can explore Roman ruins at Augusta Raurica. This is the largest archaeological park in Switzerland, although it surely feels like we are walking somewhere in Italy. This place is huge, and we spent nearly 2 hours exploring the Roman theater, baths, caverns, and animal park. For history buffs, you can also visit a museum with more than 2 million artifacts. Maybe the most surprising part is not that you can find Roman ruins in Switzerland, but that they are so close to the city of Basel.
Not buying a Swiss train pass is like throwing your money in the garbage. And that's because one of the best ways to enjoy the beauty of Switzerland is to ride on the various forms of public transport. And there's an experience near Lucerne where you can enjoy nearly every type of ride imaginable. Nope, it's not Mount Pilatus or Mount Rigi. We're talking about the Klevenalp Goldie Safari. You'll have sweeping views over Lake Lucerne nearly the entire length of this transportation safari. Start in Beckenried and ride a cable car up to Klevenalp. Fun fact, 1,006 Alphorn players met up here in 2024 to score the Guinness World Record for the largest Alphorn ensemble in the world. Then hike along winding trails with a little tower and rest area in the middle. Keep walking until you reach Stockalp. We stopped here for a quick lunch and a break so we could all play on the playground. I mean, who can resist the barefoot trail, trampoline, and treetop rope park? Now, you'll ride a gondola down to Emmental. Once again, the lake views are magnificent, and our son especially loved looking at the cows below us. From here, hop on a Postbus ride to Zeelisalp. Pro tip, sit on the right side for the best views of a beautiful little lake along the way. Next, hop on a pleasant funicular 350 meters down to Tribe. This puts you literally right on the waterfront, where you'll enjoy a boat ride back to Beckenried, the last mode of transportation on your safari. And since this ride is 35 minutes, you'll have plenty of time to relax with the wind in your hair as you savor the beauty of the lake, mountains, and villages surrounding you.
When you think of the Rhine River in Switzerland, the Rhine Falls are probably what comes to mind. You know, the widest and biggest waterfalls in Europe. But you can leave behind the power of those falls for a little peace and tranquility on a tiny island downriver. This spot is Rheinau. What a contrast to the bustling city of Schaffhausen and the lines of tourists at the falls. The highlight of this sleepy town is the monastery nestled on an island in the middle of the Rhine River. The church architecture and frescoes are captivating, the walking paths are peaceful, and the tree-lined waters invite you to rest. The small town on the mainland has a fantastic winery, a wide open cobblestone square, and a few restaurants. And if you want a slower paced experience, you can even ride a boat between here and the Rhine Falls.
We're from the US, where pumpkin patches and petting zoos are quite common, especially in autumn. And while it's pretty easy to buy local Swiss food from the self-service farm fridges we love so much, there aren't as many actual farms where you can visit, linger, and eat on site. So if you'll be spending time near Zurich, you will not want to miss Euker Farm. First of all, they have a few locations, and we've been to 2 of them. If you have a car, the one perched right above the Pfeffersee is worth the drive for the ambiance across the entire farm. We ate dinner here, and everything we tried tasted like it was made in my grandma's kitchen. But the location in Rapperswil-Jona is also incredible. I mean, it has a playground, petting zoo, and was decorated with pumpkin statues on our last visit. Plus, look at this ginormous restaurant and shop. We could not resist buying some pumpkins, pumpkin schorle, and pumpkin seed oil because, it was pumpkin season.
Engelberg has become one of my favorite valleys in Switzerland, but the majority of tourists just skip right through town on their way up to Mount Titlis. And a lot of those same tourists also skip right past Trubsee, which is a lake on the line between Engelberg and Titlis. Both of those spots are definitely worth visiting and have a full day feature in our Lucerne day trips guide. But the lake that I want to feature here, it's my second favorite lake in Switzerland, is just a chairlift away from Trubsee, and that is Oeschinensee. To get here, ride a chairlift up from Trubsee to the Jogpass. Then either hike down or board another chairlift where you'll get your first glimpse of this lesser-known lake. That 3 kilometers long, 600 meter wide puddle of deep blue water is just so captivating. It probably helps that you're surrounded by green hills, peaks dotted with snow, and hardly any people. To top off the experience, there's a nice cheese shop and a hotel restaurant on the Alp, and you can rent a boat or a fishing permit from the hotel too.
Like Engelberg, a lot of folks make a beeline directly from the Stans train station to the funicular station for the Stanzerhorn. And if you have our Lucerne Day Trips guide, then you know whether or not it's worth riding on top of a cable car to visit the Stanzerhorn. But not enough people linger in one of the most charming towns in the whole country, Stans. There may not be endless things to say about the capital of the canton of Nidwalden, but hopefully these videos do it justice. The wide village square is the true center of town, lined with colorful homes and multiple roads that always deliver you right back here. And those small streets just show off even more cute buildings, corner cafes, and secret gardens. In fact, if you're looking for a quieter place to stay than Lucerne, we'd recommend Stans. When you're here, be sure to stop by Espresso Coletta or the Rosenberg restaurant. Trust us, both are a bonus highlight in Stans.
You come to Switzerland for chocolate and cheese and mountains, right? Maybe some woodworking, maybe some cowbells. But did you know that Switzerland also produces glass? And you can visit their production center at Glasie Hergriesville. The 25-minute museum tour was surprisingly relaxed, informative, and engaging. Who knew there was so much to learn about the production of glass in a small Swiss town? The tour ends right in their workshop where you can watch the fiery ovens and molten sand transform into shiny glass. There's even a spot where you can pay extra to blow your own glass. But that's not all. There's a glass maze, which was quite fun. First, you put on slippers and gloves and then enter a revolving door into the labyrinth. I won't admit how many times I ran into the wall or how long it took me to find the exit, but we do recommend that you go and try it out for yourself. Next to this is an interactive sensory section where you can hear the music of glass. Outside on the waterfront are more interactive elements about water, and you can't skip the glass marble run. Finally, like most tourist sites, there's a nice little shop and restaurant too. Let's be real, I wasn't exactly super excited about visiting here. I mean, I've seen glass being made before, and sometimes Brett finds the most random tourist experiences to try. However, we spent so much time here, and every new experience was even more fun than the last. So if this sounds even remotely the least bit interesting to you, I do actually recommend that you go check it out.
Okay, I'm amazed that this next spot isn't on like every single person's Swiss itinerary. But maybe it will be once the word gets out. So Switzerland has this mysterious history of evading invasion during World War II by bolstering its borders and carving countless bunkers into the mountains. Now, most of these mountainous caves have been decommissioned, and one of them in particular has been turned into a fascinating museum. And this place is like literally directly across the street from the insanely popular Château du Chillon. This is called Fort du Chillon. Your first steps through the tunnel lead straight to a gun hole, very appropriate for a bunker. As you explore the 7 rooms, you'll learn about practical life in the fort, such as the kitchens, bunk rooms, bathrooms, and hospital. There are spaces dedicated to guns and ammunition and strategy. We expected to learn these tidbits, but we weren't prepared for the genuinely fun, interactive games throughout this bunker. Virtual reality spaces, trivia quizzes, jumbo battleship, map puzzles, movable cannons, surgery instruments, and so much more. You end with a well-done film summarizing Switzerland's role in World War II, followed by a trip through their gift shop. And the exit drops you off above the main road overlooking Château du Chillon. Jana has told me multiple times that this was one of her favorite things that we did in 2025. We had never heard of it until we were planning a recent trip to Montreux, but I think it's going to gain popularity fast.
Like we mentioned earlier, the Jungfrau region is one of the most popular places in Switzerland. If your trip will take you there, then you've probably heard of Jungfraujoch or Grindelwald Fürst, Mürren or Lauterbrunnen, maybe even Harderkulm or Wengen. I mean, in general, everybody has kind of heard of those spots, but there's one place that's not on the tourist scene. It's pretty popular with locals, which kind of makes it feel like a hidden gem in the Jungfrau region. And with a cable car just big enough for a cow, epic views from the station, trails straight from a fairy tale, adventurous mountain scooters, and secluded mountain huts with the best local dishes, who can resist? Curious to know where it is? Watch this next and we'll see you in Switzerland. Maybe even at some of these hidden destinations.